Hey everyone, my name is Brady, and welcome to my video essay on the battles of Narvik with an immersive look using Battlefield 5. To start us off, the battles of Narvik were fought from the 9th of April to the 8th of June in 1940 as a naval battle of the Ophir, and as a land battle in the mountains surrounding the North Norwegian town of Narvik as part of the Norwegian campaign of the Second World War. The two naval battles in the Ophir on the 10th of April and the 13th of April were fought between the British Royal Navy and Nazi German Kriegsmarine, while the two-month land campaign was fought between Norwegian, French, British, and Polish troops against German mountain troops, shipwrecked Kriegsmarine sailors, and German paratroopers from the 7th Air Division. Narvik provided an ice-free harbor in the North Atlantic for iron ore transported by rail from Kiruna in Sweden. Both sides in the war had an interest in securing this iron supply for themselves and denying it to the enemy, thereby setting the stage for one of the biggest battles since the invasion of Poland. Prior to the German invasion, British forces had considered Narvik as a possible landing point for an expedition to help Finland in the Winter War. Such an expedition also had the potential of taking control of the Swedish mines and opening up the Baltic Sea to the Allies. Now, with enough background knowledge, I think it's about time we set the stage for the landings of Narvik. During the battles, the Royal Navy considered it imperative for morale and strategic purposes to defeat the Germans in Narvik through naval, aircraft, and infantry forces. The German forces, led by Edward Dietl at their position, were not good. The initial 2,000 troops were outnumbered, but later were reinforced around 5,600. Their position and outlook changed from good to dire several times. Even on some occasions, the entire operation was controlled directly from the German High Command in Berlin. The Norwegian force, under General Carl Gustav Fleischer, eventually reached 8,000 to 10,000 men after a few weeks. The total number of Allied troops in the campaign, in and around Narvik, reached 24,500 men. During the Norwegian campaign, Narvik and its surrounding area saw significant fighting, initially from the 9th of April between German and Norwegian forces, subsequently between Allied and German forces, conducted by the Norwegian 6th Division of the Norwegian Army, as well as by an Allied Expeditionary Corps until the 9th of June in 1940. Unlike the campaign in southern Norway, the Allied troops in Narvik would eventually outnumber the Norwegian troops, ultimately ending in about 5 nations that partook in the fighting. From the 5th to the 10th of May, the fighting in the Narvik area was the only active theater of war in the Second World War. Taking a deeper insight, let's look at some of the weapons used by infantry during the engagements of Narvik. Most British troops were usually issued with firearms such as the Stem Mk1 and the Lee Enfield used by British marksmen, alongside their ever so popular Webley revolver, a popular sidearm of the British Army. For the Germans, they often were issued with miniguns such as the German STG assault rifle, the Sturmgewehr 1-5, Gewehr 43, and the MP-28 or MP-40 submachine guns. For German sharpshooters, they had used rifles such as the Gewehr M95 and the Kar-98. Their sidearm of choice was either the P08 pistol or P38 pistol. During the battle, with the Germans attempting to hold their position, the orders were to hunker down and hold the front line, forbidding the Allies to advance on Narvik. For the Allies, after their successful naval campaign, their main tactic to take control of Narvik was to orchestrate an amphibious attack in order to take over the town and construct a base of operations. That way, they could have a more organized attack once they began to push towards the German positions in the mountains. The Allied offensive started slowly. Unlike the Germans, they did not have a clear operational objective in Norway and did not conduct their operations with as much vigor. It became apparent that the Allies were confused by the many small and large fjords and bays and could not decide where it would be best to start. British, French, and Polish units rapidly relieved each other, which added to the lack of local knowledge. The cold and snow was a common enemy for all troops at Narvik as well, but most of the Allies were poorly prepared for it. The Norwegians were the only ones fully equipped with skis and able to use them. The British tried skis, but their troops were largely untrained and supply was scarce. In the end, the Allies had sea and air superiority until the very last stage of the operation, but did not take full advantage. The Germans lost the naval battle, but achieved the main goal of their operation, and to occupy Norway. Though the British forces achieved an undisputable local naval victory, they were unprepared to follow it up with a successful land operation. This allowed the Germans to consolidate their foothold in Norway and made the subsequent Allied counter-invasion more difficult. Well, that about does it for my video essay on the battles of Narvik. I hope everyone enjoyed and maybe learned something new. Thanks for watching.